Hello and welcome back to our channel Dev Smash. So today we are going to understand one of the most important concept in JavaScript, and that is closures. Okay. So this is a topic that confuses many developers initially, but once you truly understand closures, many advanced JavaScript concepts suddenly starts making sense for you. Okay. So let's start. So, have you ever seen a function remember variables? Okay. So, means even after the outer function already finished execution, that behavior is possible because of closures only. And closures are everywhere in JavaScript. Okay. So, before closure, we will see what is lexical scope. Okay. For that, I will write a code. Say I am creating a function, name it outer. Okay. And here say I created a variable, say username, and I named it dev smash. Okay. And here I'm creating another function, say inner. Okay. And here I am writing console.log name. Okay. And I will call this function inner here. Okay. And I will call this outer function here. Okay. So yeah. So what exactly is lexical scope? Okay. Okay. Before understanding closures, we first need to understand the lexical scope. So in JavaScript, inner functions, this inner function can access variables from their outer function. This is the outer function. So this inner function can access variable from outer function. For example, username here. Okay. Username. So username is defined in the outer function, but the inner function can also use this, can access it. So why why it can access it? Because it exists inside the lexical scope of outer function. It exists inside the lexical scope. Okay. So this where we are defining this, you can say inside this block on itself. So this you can say is the lexical scope of the outer function. Okay. So functions remember where they were created. So here we are creating it inside the lexical scope of outer only. So it remember where it's being created. So it can access the lexical scope variables of the outer function. Okay. So what is this? So this is what we call closure. Okay. This is what we call closure. If you want a definition. Okay. So first we'll see what exactly is happening here. Okay. So we call the outer function. Okay. Outer function executes. Okay. So ideally the all the variables defined inside the outer function should vanish, kind of vanish. Okay. Because means we might expect that the outer variables to disappear because the function has been executed. Okay. But they don't. Why? This inner function still remembers the count. This inner function still remembers this lexical scope variable of the outer function. So every time you call this function. Okay. Every time you call this function, so the value of username will persist. So this persistent memory behavior is called closure. This behavior is called closure. Okay. Let me run it once. Okay. Yeah. You can see this function has already been called, executed. Ideally, this should have vanished, but this inner function is also in the lexical scope of outer function, so it's remembering this variable. Okay. So this is closure. Okay. Function plus lexical scope. This makes a closure. So let me go with the definition. So closure is created. A closure is created when a function remembers variable from its lexical scope even after the outer function has finished execution. Okay. So closures, this closure allow functions to retain access to variables from their parent scope. Which what is parent? This outer is parent. Okay. So if I draw it, like you can say this is the outer function, and here you have defined a inner function. You can say, okay, this is inner function. So this is the lexical scope. So variables defined. So this space. This function can access all the variables defined here in the lexical scope of the parent or outer function, you can say. This is you can call it parent as well. Okay, so let's see why this happens actually. Okay, so what JavaScript do is, what JavaScript do is JavaScript keeps variables in memory as long as something still references them. Simple one. Okay. JavaScript kept it in memory as long as something still references them. Okay. So in case of closure, so the inner function still references this. So this inner function still references this. Okay. And this is why closure preserve state. Why? Because this username here it's persisting the reference to this username. Okay, it's persisting the reference to the username. Okay, so what I mean to say if I redefine it here, okay, and I simply call it dev smash 2. Okay, let me save it, and if I run it, okay, you will see dev smash 2. Why? Because it's persisting the reference of username, not the value. So when you update the username, it will check that the reference, it will check the latest value from this username's reference, and it will simply console that only. Okay. So let me show you another some real life, you can say, example. It's small. So let's say I am creating a bank account. Okay, I am creating a bank account, and say my initial balance is, say, 1,000 rupees. You opened a bank account and deposited 1,000 rupees initially. Okay. Okay. So and from here I am returning two functions. One is deposit. This will take amount as parameter. Okay. And you will say balance plus equal to whatever amount you are depositing, and console dot log balance. Okay. Same same you say, you make return another function, say withdraw. Okay, and this will simply deduct the amount and balance here. Okay, so this is our, you can say, an application. So you created an account, and simply you say create bank account. Okay, create bank account. So let me first console dot log account. Oh my bad. Console dot log account. Okay, let me refresh it. So you will see account, it has two functions, deposit and withdraw. Okay, deposit and withdraw. Now your salary come and you deposit it, say 55. Okay, let me clear it and refresh it. See, so your balance is 6,500 now, and you need to pay your EMI. So you withdraw, say, 1,200 rupees. Okay, so remaining amount is 5,300. Let me comment this out once. Okay, so let's understand what happened here actually. Okay, so this is very powerful feature of, you can say, closure, and we call it data privacy. Okay, we call it data privacy. What we mean by data privacy? Okay, so this balance, so let me write it here once. Say console dot log balance, balance. Okay, let me refresh it. Okay, balance is not defined. So you can't access this balance variable from outside, directly from outside. But the functions you returned, like deposit and withdraw, can access this balance. Okay, and this will behave like a private variable now. This will behave like a private variable. Okay, because this can't be accessed outside this create bank account function, but the internal functions, that function you return it, can access it. So this is very best example of closures. Okay, so closures helps us encapsulate data. Okay, you can say closures help us encapsulate data securely. Okay, it's encapsulated the data very securely. Okay, so another example we can take. So we can take another example for event listeners. Okay, in the event listeners as well, closures play a very important role. Okay, let's say you are making a counter, and on the click of button you are increasing the. Let me write it instead of. So let's say you created a function, and you say setup button. Okay, and here you created a count variable equal to 0. Okay, and in this document dot say get element by id, and you write this button. Okay, dot, let me make it on separate line. So you added an event listener at event listener, you say click. Okay, here as well, and you say count plus plus console.log count. Okay, so you created this. Let me just create a button as well. Okay, and give it id of say button, uh, and here let me write it click. Okay, so let's refresh it, and now click is not happening. Okay, I need to call it. Okay, see. Okay, uh, hmm. Okay, so count is increasing. That line was creating the issue actually, this balance thing. Okay, so now count is increasing. So here you can see we have defined a count variable 0. Okay, and this in the event listener, this will behave like a closer. Okay, this function will behave, this part is behave like a closer, and will remember the value. Okay, so yeah, so this is how closures helps in JavaScript. In so okay, this is how closures helps. And so apart from that, we can see a common one interview question as well. I'm just making it copy paste. Okay, and let me comment this out. Okay, so here you will see we have defined a for loop. First we will tell me what would be the output of this code. Okay, we'll check it. Say 4. Why it's printed 4? Even our loop is going till 3. Okay, so why this is happening? Because we have used where here. Okay, we have used where here, and where is function scoped. Where is function scope, not block scope. So when this so the first loop ran, so this will be sent to the callback call stack. Okay, and here second loop will run, third loop will run. So till the first set timeout will be executed, the value of I will would have become 4. Okay, value of I would have become 4. So that's why it's printing 4. Okay, and because this is function scoped. Okay, so all the set timeout will reference to the same variable I. Okay, how we can fix this? Okay, the simplest example is use let, because let is block scoped. Let is plus block scoped. So 1 2 3. Okay, so what let will do, it will create a new variable in every loop, in every iteration. Okay, and that new variable will be sent here in this console, and this set timeout will have that value, that reference to that new value only, this value of I. So it will be 1 2 and 3. Okay, so yes. Okay, so let's see some common mistakes while using closures. Okay, uh, so the first mistake is creating unnecessary closures. Okay. Second one is memory leak. Okay, memory leak because it referenced it. You can say it referenced the reference only, not the value. Okay, so there might be chances of with this memory leak. Okay, and so yeah, so why closures matter? So closures are one of the say foundational concepts of JavaScript. They have powers, callback, event listener, async JavaScript modules, memorization, React hooks. Okay, so yeah, so let's conclude the video. So closures may feel confusing initially. Okay, but once you understand lexical scope and memory retention, so what is lexical scope? I have already told. Okay, lexical scope of the outer function, the variable defined in the lexical scope of outer function can be accessed by the inner function. Okay, memory retention because it retains the memory because it reference the reference only. Okay, and honestly the closures are one of the topics that separate beginner JavaScript developers from advanced ones. Okay, yeah, so that's it for this video. Hope you like it. So don't forget to subscribe the channel and like the video. Thank you and have a good day.